Okay. Let's see here. The sound of village. I mean, the sound of rain filled the village. The steep cliffs that surrounded the area magnified sound, causing even the slightest drizzle to rattle like a thunderstorm. Thin wisps of smoke stream, streamed from the huts as the villagers huddled in their homes and waited out the rain. A single child, however, had braved the downpour and was now wandering slowly toward the wooden hawk-shaped weather vine at the center of town. The wanderer reached the vein, which had existed for as long as any could remember, and stared. The child's face was simultaneously delicate and fierce, like a teacup that had survived a shipwreck. Those traits combined with pale white skin and to give the face an almost sexless quality. If the beak turns east, I go home. If it stays west, then I. The child blinked. Rain slowly dripped down the young one's short hair and began its long descent to the ground. Come on, come on. The child felt a slight breeze and watched the vein slowly creaked to life. Spinning this way and that for a moment, it finally settled with the beak pointing firmly towards the east. East? Really? Before the vein could move again, a jagged rock came spinning and tumbling through the air, striking home against the child's head. The force of the blow dropped the child to the ground as a hail of stones began to fall around. Oh no, they found me! A heartbreaking smile crept across the child's face as stones continued their assault. Through the rain, the sound of multiple footsteps grew louder before a voice rang out. Yoo-hoo, Kane! The sound of the voice belonged to Demo, worst of all bullies in the area. As Connie struggled to stand, a final stone came skittering through the mud and bounced against her foot. Blood oozed from the cut above her eye and blurred her vision, but she could make out the shapes of Demo and his usual gang of idiots. The boy seemed taken aback for a moment by Kane's seeming indifference to the blood dripping from her face, but quickly regained his bravado. What's up, freak? You like the rain? You like getting all wet? Or did you finally decide to run away from home? And though she knew it was futile, Kane turned to leave. Before she could get more than a few steps, the other children scrambled to surround her, cruelty burning in their eyes. Kane knew those were not the only eyes on her. The tormentor's parents watched from the safety of their homes. She was attuned to this sensation. It was one she had experienced many times before. While some villagers simply turned a blind eye to the actions of their children, many encouraged it openly. In a society ruled by superstition and fear, Kane was something to be hated, and if possible, destroyed. "I didn't say you can leave, freak!" Demo's word chewed at her like a worm through an apple. "He can't hurt me," she lied to herself. "Be strong, be brave. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me. He can't hurt me." Oh look, the little freak's gonna cry. What's wrong? Are you sad that everyone hates you and wants you dead? Connie prayed for the rain to flood down and carry her away from the world that seemed to have no place for her. But if there were gods, they chose to ignore her. As Demo crept ever closer, the clouds began to thin and the rain slowed. "Even the weather hates me. I'm useless. A failure. I wish Demo's rock had taken my head off." Kane couldn't meet Demo's leering gaze. She lowered her eyes and stared at the muddy ground below. The bully moved forward until he was inches away. She could smell the scent of old meat on his breath. The boy grabbed Kane's face with thick fingers and yanked it upward. She tried to turn away, but he forced her gaze back and jammed his thumb against her eyelid to pry it open. "Show me." "No." "Did you just say no?" Demo grinned evilly. "You don't say no to me. No one says no to me." Not even taking his attention from Kane, he called his cohorts. "Come on, guys. Let's give the freak what she deserves." As soon as Demos finished, kicks and blows began to rain down upon Kane. Demo paused, still grinning as Kane curled into a ball and tried to make the pain stop. "I don't get you, freak. What you acting like a girl for, huh? Everyone knows what you really are." Kane ignored the question, choosing instead to stare at the weather vane. It continued to point east, as if supremely confident about the future it had chosen for her. Go home? Yeah, that's a funny joke for someone with dead parents and no home to go to. "Freak!" chanted the children. "Freak! Freak! Freak!" Connie closed her eyes and listened to the rain, waiting for the pain to start again. As the clutching hands of the village children closed around her, she bent her mind to the sound of the rain, letting it become her world entire. The rain fell, but the pain never came. Only when the laughter of her tormentors turned into terrified cries did she dare open a single blood-soaked, cocked eye. Kane was soaked Kane was shocked to see Demo sprawled on the ground, holding his head and screaming in pain. She could see blood welling from the spaces between his fat, twisted fingers. Oh my god, he's crying. He's actually crying. Deprived of their leader, the other children glanced back and forth between themselves as if waiting for someone to step forward and take charge. When no savior emerged, they began an uneasy shuffle away from Kane. But the young girl was the least of their concerns. Instead, the attention was wrapped on the ancient woman standing a few feet away. After struggling for breath for a moment, she finally spoke in a voice thick with rage. Hurts like a bitch, don't it? Now I suggest you scatter home. Scatter before I throw another one. If any of you little bastards ever touch my coffee, I'll do far worse than throw out a rock. You can count on me. The old woman crouched down and gently touched the hand with covered the wound. Before he could think to protest, she ground her palm into the wound and twisted back and forth. Ow! He screamed, leaping to his feet. Stop it! What are you doing? Quit whining. Ain't no one ever died from a scratch. You hit me with a rock, you stupid bitch. A big one. That thing could have killed me. The old woman shrugged. Death is the best cure for stupid. Demo's face twisted with rage at her words, locking his eyes on Connie. He took a step backward and spat on the ground. Get out. Leave this village. No one wants you here, either of you. Seeing the old woman grab another stone, Demo and his companions turned tail and ran. As they fled, the old woman grabbed her side and barked out a single laugh. Ha! Look at the fat boy go. Guess he's healthy enough to run from a fight. The woman's smile faded as she turned her attention to Kane. Kneeling down, she removed her shawl and placed it around the young girl's shoulders, then produced a cloth from its folds of her dress and began blotting at the blood on her forehead. Oh, Kane, she said, why didn't you fight back? You're stronger than that lot. The words of her grandmother strung Kane, and she turned away, stung Kane. Don't be nice to me, she said. I don't deserve it. Nothing matters anymore. Her tears, held in cheek for so long, finally began to fall on the muddy ground below. Everyone hates me, and they think I'm causing bad things to happen. They think I'm a freak. I wish I was dead. As Kane's tears turned into sobs, she felt her grandmother's hands on her shoulders. Despite her advanced age and diminutive size, she was a woman of surprising strength, and Kane found herself unable to turn away. Don't talk to me like that, girl. It's a river wide and deep that flows between the realms of this world and the next. and it grants no mercy to any that attempt the crossing. You got a duty to fight until your last breath. Understand? The old woman tightened her grip and tried to still the tremor in her voice. You know the pain of losing someone close to you, Kane. You know because you survived it. As the words hit home, Connie was struck by the force of her love for the old woman. As a young child, she didn't even know of her grandmother. But when her parents died, the woman quickly accepted her as her own. Grandma, as Connie called her, was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence. And their first few years together had not been easy. But with each year that passed, Connie and her grandmother had grown closer. However, it was only now, sitting in the mud with tears and blood cracking her face, that Connie truly understood the depths of her affection. Here was a woman who had seen hard times, who had seen death, who had fought through all these things and somehow emerged on the other side. If anyone could understand Connie's pain and loneliness, it was her. Do I make you sick, Grandma? Course not. Don't be an ass. Connie drew her grandmother's moth-eaten shawl around her body and shuddered. But my body, it's not normal. If I was normal, then Mom and Dad wouldn't. Hush, interrupted Grandma. I'll not hear another word of this nonsense. You're my granddaughter, and I love you. And if folks have a problem with that, they can just go to hell. With that, the old woman reached out and placed a wreath of dried flowers in Connie's hair. The skill it took to bend flowers without breaking stems or losing a single petal